The Ferrari is nearly the same in terms of precision, like the McLaren. Oh, Code Brown moment there. Holy crap. What the freaking race car god. Wow. Just for a second I thought I'm gonna lose the car and spin as well. The Aston in front of me looks to be irritated as well. He completely lost his rhythm right there. Oh my god. When a car takes off, you know, it just takes off.
Car on the right. Clear on the right.
Oh, shit! Dude! I was drifting through 2 corners. That looked absolutely insane. You know, I had way better line through there and I was so quick. And now comes the ultimate maneuver. Whoops. I'm, I'm drifting it from left to right. Look at that. That looks absolutely smashing. Let's look at this. Drift, drift, drift. Drift, drift, drift. That looks really sweet. I have to save that replay. Let's go, guys. Oh, oh, oh. There's already some touchy going on.
3 wide. All clear. Clear on the left. Car on the left.
Whoa.
Clear on the left.
That was close. Did I lose a spot? Yeah, I think so. Boy, they are rumbling over there. Now comes the interesting corner. Braking earlier. Oh, nice. Cool, first lap done. Ui, 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 ui.
Car on the right.
What the hell was that?
Car on the left.
Oh, getting bumped. I nearly lost the car there.
Car on the left.
Okay, now we're looking good. Good evening, everyone. Hi. Welcome to the next race event with Simracing XP. Already some bunch of people looking. How are you guys doing? Welcome to the stream. So let's start it up. We are in for something very interesting tonight. Racing Monza in light rainy conditions, which means no wet tires but slicks. Balancing tire pressure, temperatures. If you have never done that before, be sure to pay attention because that will definitely be interesting. The last training sessions were kind of good. I had to set the cold tire pressure, I think nearly to 30 psi to be able to keep the tire pressure. And tire temperature is just usually cold, so that was for like half an hour stints. So I'm really looking forward to how that will work out over the 1 hour race right now, which will be a very important learning experience. Hey Aaron! You've been putting a couple hours into ACC to try to be able to partake in some fun races. Yeah, be sure to join us up with Simracing XP. That would be cool. Then we can race together, mate. Do some practice and learn. Okay. Let's switch it up so the server is active already with some practice, and qualifying will start in around 20 minutes. SRXP. There we go. Already 19 people on there. Holy moly. My trusty Bentley. Ooh, wrong password. Did I remember that incorrectly? Let's look up the new password. No. That should be it. Okay. Probably my Bluetooth keyboard thinking nope. So there we have it. Light rain conditions means it's not wet enough for wet tires. And with 20 people racing, it will pretty much start to dry up after 20 to 30 minutes. So that is something we need to kind of balance. And I had set up this one, and as you can see, dry tires, I need 110 liters on board. And PSI is at 29.8, 29.5, so that's how high you need to go because the tires keep cooling off. So, but right now for some practice runs, take some less fuel. And the other thing that I did, I basically went with the wet preset setup. And the only thing that I changed is tires to dry and front brakes not wet, but to 1, because the temperature will be enough to keep the performance of the brake pads. And what I also did is I just lowered the car by 1 click in front and rear, and also lowered the rear wing to have not as much aero pressure, because the track will dry up. And it should probably get warmer, but so that you get an impression on how that feels, I'm just gonna show you now how that looks like. So you can see now the tires are green, and they will pretty much cool off very, very quickly. Yeah, you can see already now. Hey, Papillon! This race does not require mandatory pit stops, no. The guys at Simracing XP do not set mandatory pit stops. Maybe for single events, but not here. So we just drive for 1 hour in really tricky conditions with over 100 liters of fuel aboard. And you already hear the traction control going heavy. So the challenge here will be to basically survive, not push for crazy fast lap times, just be consistent and survive and see how the track develops. And you can now already see tires completely blue. We have to brake earlier in the first few laps, especially in the formation lap. We have to be really careful. And we emphasized everyone in the Discord channel to take it really, really slow and careful into T1, and be extra careful in the first few laps, because yeah, as you can see, the car doesn't have any grip. Hey Kevin, thank you. Good luck to you as well. Yeah, we're definitely going to need that. That's some really tricky conditions. I'm really looking forward to how much that track will actually dry in light rain with over 20 people participating. So see, the first one's already spinning out. So Ascari is really, you have to be very careful through Ascari. Play with the throttle a little bit. And that's very interesting. When basically I tried the wet tires in the first practice session, and although it feels really cool in the first few laps, they start to overheat very quickly. And you just can't keep them cool. You would have to constantly drive off ideal line into the rain and hope for the best. So these are basically the trickiest weather conditions, where you need to take the risk in the first like 10 laps to go with the dry tire sets. But you already see that brake performance is not looking that bad. Oh, that was a bit too late. Traction control going mad. I'm having now set the traction control from 2 to 5 of 8. When I try 6, it's even heavier, too much. And when I put it to 4, it's basically not there. So I feel like 5 is a good middle ground to start. and the rest you just really do via the throttle. And I have to admit, the Bentley feels really comfortable in these tricky conditions. I absolutely cannot imagine, for example, driving the Porsche. Hey, Pete is here, hey! Yeah, the thing is, because the water is not... The tarmac is not... how to say, there's no standing water. Probably just over the curves. It's a bit risky. And see here, I was lifting the accelerator a little bit just to keep the car from spinning. Yep, it's not wet enough exactly, and that's the thing. I expect the track, the ideal race line actually to be dry at the half point of the race. And the only question mark I have right now is if I should even lower the tire pressures. Because for like the end of the race, when the track maybe dries up, because it's not raining hard enough, the tires will definitely overheat. You see, the braking point was there really good, and this is basically the only point where you can really feel the traction control come in. And doing 55s in practice, I was able to push it down to 53, I guess, once or twice. Because the car feels really good. And this one is where you need to be careful. And the exit here. The optimum target pressure here is the same with the dry tires. It should be around 27.5 to a maximum of 28. But because of these tricky conditions, I aim to have them, yeah, not approaching 28. Okay, I was going flat through the left part. So, as you can see, my rear tires are getting too warm right now. So I'll definitely lower the pressure for the race there. That was a bit too late. But you can go nearly flat out of here. Out of the, what is it, a parabolica, I think. And we're still looking for GT4 drivers, so for anyone thinking to join, please feel free to join and pick a GT4 car.
Yellow flag ahead, watch out in front. Car on the right.
Nice,
on the right.
thank you very much. I love it. Our GT4 guys are always paying attention. Oh yes, Pete. I saw your new livery and I even put it into my folder. So, whenever I'll see your Porsche, I will see the cool Violon, or how is it called? Here, I need to brake a bit early into this section. Okay, that was a good exit. We are now already in the 54s. Whoa, okay. I was too scared to turn the car in there. Of course, Pete, no problemo. Anyone else has a livery to share? You can just let me know and I'll put it on.
Yellow flag in sector 2. Yellow flag, be careful.
I guess we will have a bunch of yellow flags in the race, but the tires now start to keep the pressures, so I'll definitely lower the pressures. They are way too high. Good braking point there. It's amazing how the traction control really cuts in there. But yeah, it doesn't feel really wet. In some of the corners you kind of feel the car sliding just a tiny bit when you're too quick. But other than that, this section was really good right now. I feel that you have to brake earlier here and be very careful. But this corner is good as well, so that will be really interesting to see how much the track dries up and heats up at the end. Okay, I was lifting a bit here, and the ref limiter of the Bentley is still not my best friend. I have to shift so quickly, otherwise I'm constantly hitting the ref limiter. Whoops. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to this race. How we have 28 people already in, awesome. I forgot to adapt the tire pressures again. Yep, tires definitely stay cool in these conditions, which is actually, I think, is really interesting because the tarmac has 22 degrees and the air temperature is also like 20, 22. So I'm honestly surprised that the tires are just not heating up. See, that was a bit too late. And then you have the car sliding straight over the front tires. So there's only so much the ABS can help you there. So trail braking is really a bit of a challenge here. It seems like some of the guys are really not slow. I'm only in P13 right now. Bunch of people really liking these conditions, as it seems. We already see a dry line here.
Yellow flag in sector 3.
So I'm now going into the pits again. But we see now with the tires are starting to increase in temperature. I'll definitely need to decrease tire pressure for the end of the race. I'll need to think about that, even if that means I'll have a rough time in the beginning. But already here you see a dry line. So when the race starts, the session will reset again. So we have a bit of a cold and wet track. So we definitely need to go. Three clicks in the front, 5 in the rear. When we look at the OMI temperatures, they are really good actually. Well, that's because there is not so much heat in the tire, so that's really a challenge right now. Anything else to change? Yeah. Qualification in 6 minutes now. Got some pretty quick guys there. I really don't want to change to another setup right now because with the beginning of the race for at least half an hour the car will feel great like that. I'm just thinking right now if I just should decrease the aero again, lower the car a little bit. Let's give it another try like that. I'm pretty sure that by 20-30 minutes left the tires will be getting really warm. But then the good thing actually with the slicks is that we can easily cool them down by just going off the ideal line into some wet patches. Whoops, see how the car's sliding across the front tires? I gave steering input to the left and the car was like, nah, I'll just slide to the right. And here you see the dry line. Can you spot the difference between the dark grey left and the lighter grey? So right now the track's here in practice already drying up. Hey Adrian! You already see the dry line here as well. The other tricky challenge is then if you get used to the track conditions and then go off the line for a little bit and hit a wet patch, then you're in for an adventure. Okay, that works well. Adrian, how are you doing, my friend? Glad to see you joining in again tonight for some tricky light rain action. Still sliding there. But it's really nice to see the distinction between the like wet areas and already drying areas of the track. Traction core is not going as crazy as it was a few laps before. I'm feeling great, Adrian. Still having the motivation of my first win from Saturday in the blood. Yeah, track is now in the practice definitely getting faster. "34 people now on the server, awesome. We got a bunch of new people coming in to race with us, that's cool. Nice, not as clean but quick exit. This will definitely be an interesting T1 and lap 1 and then some action. Ooh, much better exit now. Car is not sliding around, I just gained 4 tenths through this section. I'm not curious if the qualifying reset will now make the track wet again, then it will be a different story. Looking at the corner entry, looking to the left now. Yeah, you can you see how the track's drying up? You can definitely see that here on the inside line. Trying to avoid the curbs there on the outside. This corner will be definitely a deal breaker for some. And this exit here as well. Oh, whether the session is still for the next day, so it will definitely reset for the race then. Yeah, the session is the same now in qualifying.
Green line. Go, go, go.
So let's just immediately head out. What the fuck? So let's see what I can do there. Feeling was really good. You see, I'm not a friend of low fuel. I'll always pack 30 liters. Looks wet. Oh, we still have the black lines there. Yeah, it's definitely wetter again because we had a break in time and there was no racing, so the track of course got drenched again a little bit. So I need to be more careful. And brake a bit earlier. And then for the race we will have the same challenge. Whoop! You can clearly see the nice difference we just had a moment ago in the practice session and now how the track looks. The Kunos did a really amazing job. I had the exact same thing happen to me in practice. When you're not careful through Ascari in the wet. Whoop. That was close. Didn't want to swerve to the right, this looked more exciting. Well, you wonder how many will qualify in wets. That's something really unfortunate we can't see. I think it would be a really cool feature to see in the timesheets who is on wets and who is not. That was a bit too early on the brakes. But we are starting to already see a dry line. Can you spot it? It's incredible. I'm really not sure about tire pressures now. Ah. No, it's definitely not moist enough. Shit, GT4 is coming up. Okay.
Yellow flag ahead. Be
That
careful.
was nice of him. Thank you very much, Mr. Engelen. Hey, Alex, how are you doing? Thanks for joining in. Good to see you, mate.
Yellow flag ahead. Watch out in front.
Conditions a bit tricky, but pressure already hitting all-time highs. I'm again thinking if I should decrease tire pressures for the race. I'm pretty sure it will dry up very quickly. See, that's the tricky thing, because while practicing we didn't really had so many drivers pulling off so many laps to simulate the race conditions, so nobody actually knows what tire pressure will be good for the race. You're finishing off a setup for the Ferrari at Nürburgring, nice. It's also not my fastest track, I actually really don't like Nürburgring. Seems like I'm one of the few guys. I'd rather go around Hungaroring. Any suggestions for the tire pressure, guys, will be welcome. I'm really unsure right now. Guess I have to lower it because look at the temperature. 53.4 now. I was able to brake at a really good point there. I'm also pretty bad, Alex. Consistent pace and on Nürburgring. Not happening for me. Here it's too wet for late braking point. In the middle of the chicane. I think my problem with Nürburgring is that I was practicing it way too much in the beginning when I was a really bad driver. And now the bad racing line stuck with me. Ooh, flat through there. Hey Aaron, that's what I'm trying to find out right now with tire pressure. Because I can see especially the rear tires coming up on temperatures, they're starting to go green. So if that happens by the end of the race and I'm having the high tire pressure, I will be in some trouble. And you can see now that even though I was having a slight coming out, and lap times are also improving really crazy right now. Very late braking point there. Yeah. Tiny bit too late. Really nasty decision to make. But the braking point here is completely off, because it's dry in the beginning and then it's wet going into the turn. Did you see that one? Tiny code brown. Just a second there, and I'll head into the pits and then I'll explain a little bit more. Right in the middle of the pack, and that's where I don't want to be actually for the start. But I'm trusting the guys to have a really nice and smooth start. Nope. Need to be more to the inside here. Okay. So nasty decision. Green Mountain, you're consistently slow everywhere. Don't worry, don't pressure yourself. Pace will come. So Aaron, how you settle on pressures in any race? So the thing is, you always aim to be somewhere between 27.5 up to 28 is basically the limit. So I always aim in dry, nice conditions to have around 27.6, 27.7, 0.8. It's kind of a little bit different how it depends on how heavy a car is. And especially if your brake ducts are open or closed like that. Because what the brake ducts do is they close down the airflow, making your brakes heat up easier. And this whole area here, the area where the tire is, I don't know what it's called, will retain the heat easier. And that means it will heat up your tire easier, giving you more tire pressure. So the more you open the brake ducts, for example, you need to do that on tracks that are really brake heavy, where you are braking very, very often and very regularly. It's like, I don't know, Nürburgring, for example, that doesn't have a lot of straight lines. And you will then need to open up the brake ducts a bit more to prevent the brakes from overheating. And if you do that, you can still find the balance to kind of retain the temperature here, so that also the tires keep their temperature. And that's where you just do a few laps and see how hot the brakes and the tires get. And you should always do like 6-7 laps to see where the tire temperature and the pressure settles in. And you can see the temperature of the tire here. It's separated into inside, middle and outside. And you should aim to always have around 2 degrees Celsius difference between inside, middle and outside. And that's tricky to balance. For example, if your tires get way over 80 degrees, they are running too hot. And that's when you constantly kind of change tire pressures, because it also depends on the weight of the car. If you're putting in 100 liters of fuel and make the car very heavy and have very high pressure and very high aerodynamic, it means your tires have more grip, more friction, and will heat up more and generate more tire pressure. So then again, you have to adapt it, and that's what you kind of learn the more races you do. For like example, in half-an-hour race in like very hot conditions, you set the pressure really low because the tires just keep constantly heating up. And this is just what you do by just giving it a try and kind of save the presets also, like I do for different temperatures, that I have an easier time to switch setups. Slow and safe Green Mountain is always a good idea, because that's the way how I started. Focus on the consistency, focus to be clean, and then the pace will come. That's just the only trick. Still decreasing tire pressure. Boy, I'm really not sure what I should do for the race. 13th, we should. So I hope I didn't explain I didn't confuse you, Aaron. If there are any questions, just feel free to ask. I'll answer them as good as possible while racing, probably on the straight lines. Oops, kissing the wall. That's for good luck, you know, brings you some fortune.
Yellow flag ahead, watch out.
there to not irritate anyone behind me. I guess people are now using
Yellow flag in sector 3.
pretty much base aggressive
Yellow
preset
flag, yellow
setups
flag. Be careful there.
because it's not wet enough anymore. I don't want to switch to that. I got so used to the car now with the wet preset that it feels really good, and I don't want to switch setup because I did that once, switch setup before race, and it went horribly wrong. So right now again you can clearly see that the ideal race line is drying up. Let's see how wet it is here. You can hear it a little bit. So that's for example a way to cool off tires. When they get too hot during a race, you get off the ideal racing line like this into the wets, and then you can immediately see how the tire temperature will drop. So that's also a nice trick you can do with wet tires, for example, when they're getting too hot because the ideal racing line is drying off. Here I need to be very careful with the steering input. Too much steering angle and then the car starts to slip and slide. Oh, I've got my dear Kevin in front of me. He's doing the pace car for me. Come on, come on. Let's catch Kevin. Put on the brakes there. Let's flash Kevin. I'm pretty sure that I won't qualify for the top field because I'm using the adapted wet preset. And that has just too much drag.
Slow car ahead.
Too much drag for the straight line sections. Okay, picking up some time. Time there, I need to cut more of the chicane. Hey, race department guys are here. Hey, how are you guys doing? Thank you very much for stopping by. I already did some practice laps with the BMW for the G2 event, but I'm pretty sure I won't be able to qualify, but what's there to lose? Okay, that was a pretty bad sector. Nasty, nasty conditions.
Yellow flag, be careful.
Yep, nothing to lose indeed. Here it goes. Just we grow by the experiences, and it's because I participated in so many racing leagues like Simracing and ACCSS that I learned so much and improved my pace and had my first win. So that's why I just keep on trying new things and pushing my limits. That's the only way to improve and learn more. And even though Monza seems such a simple layout, it's really tricky to be fast without a mistake, because there's so many tiny mistakes you can do.
Yellow flag ahead, retard in front.
Five tenths picked up. Ah! I nearly caught the car. I nearly caught the car. Shame. Shame, shame, shame. I was on a really, really good lap there, and now 1 minute. Yeah, that's it. Okay. We are starting at the back of the pack. Bentley Power. Hey, Simtag Racing, how are you doing? Thanks for stopping by, man. Really tricky conditions, so I'm still open for suggestions because the race will be on a different day, so we will definitely start in colder and a bit wetter conditions, but I'm pretty sure that after, it's hard to say, 30 minutes, 20, 30 minutes, I think the track will start to dry up. Ah, tricky, tricky, tricky. I can risk with going like lower pressures for the beginning. Yeah, Bentley feels awesome in wet. That's just crazy. I put in the wet preset base setup, which I basically never do, and the car feels planted. Absolutely amazing. I'm even running with the high ECU map because it's like... Let's do some recording there. So, yeah, not a good starting position. And I know that I need to take around 110. And I'll just prepare another tire set for the pit stop, because it might happen that we need to pit for whatever reason, and I'm pretty sure it will be warmer back then. So we're in 16th place. Oh, Jörg did a pretty nice lap in his BMW. Mr. Trifunovic from SimGrid and I think ACCSS is also here. That's cool to see. So the Simracing XP league is getting full. We have 38 people today. Awesome. Wow. So again, to just remind the guys to be careful. Custom skins in ACCSS next season. Yeah. Awesome, thank you very much. That's good news. I'm working on another one that I showed off in my last stream. I just can't stop working on custom liveries. It's just a thing. So, 1 hour race coming up. That's really cool news. How are they solving this? With Simracing GP or? Oh. Okay, so now we see track temperature is really low, so I'm taking the risk with lower tire pressures here. I'm really taking a risk here. Maybe just add one click more. We have the fuel. 110 liters. Whoa, nasty, nasty. Oh, they sorted through drivers and broadcasters. Okay, okay. Hey, Kevin. Have safety 1. Thank you very much. Hope to be on your tail in the next race. I hope as well. There's no better motivation than the guy tailing. I think if we continue to grow like that, we need to split up the field. Just a shame that there's only 1 5 GT4s, so I hope for the next race we have some more GT4 action. Oh, to retain temperature, only click drive within the last 10 seconds. It's another tip. And then when in the formation lap we're gonna apply soft pressure to the brake pedal to keep the friction and retain temperatures. There won't be much chance to heat up the tires there. But it's at least a way. Bounty on Boonatix in D1. No! There's no bounty on me. Rinaldi Racing. Oh, seems that I have a livery downloaded. That looks cool. So, off we go. The wet adventure on slick tires. Just gently applying brake pedal pressure like that. Okay, what's up guys? Oh yeah, that's because everybody's slowing down into T1. I hate that, please don't drive through me. Okay, the guys are running a very strange pace. Applying brake pedal pressure again, so you can see that the brake pads are already getting green. But there's no chance in getting any temperature in the tires, I guess. Race department maybe, yes, because we don't have any platform right now. So if we continue to grow together like that, it might be a good idea to get into Simracing GB actually, if that's a possibility. That would be amazing. And the first guy hitting the wall. I'm pretty sure he's damaged now. He's pretty much damaged. Who was that? Mr. Goldstein. Yeah, there's no chance in getting temperature into the tires right now, and you see the track is really wet, so I'm gambling with lower tire pressure. So I have to be very, very careful in the first few laps. Boy, this will be very interesting with 38 people. Wow, it's an amazing feel. But as you can see, the brake pads get on temperature, the tires just don't want to get on temperature. I mean, these slowly get on temperature. Now the brake pads are starting to get yellow. But I need to be careful to not overheat them. And also think about the 107 liters we have now on board with fuel.
Stay in double file.
You. Oh my god, what are the guys doing? Did you see that? Holy crap, somebody was going off there. Everybody is panicking when they say go in double file. So we already have 2 casualties now in the formation lap. Oh boy, T1. T1 will be a wreck fest. I'm so scared, I just want to survive that. But I just, you know, I intentionally crashed my fastest qualifying lap for you guys so that you have some more exciting to watch me start from the middle of the pack. Oh boy, I'm so scared of T1. If there's too much going on, I'll just skip it.
Green light, give it all you got.
Boy, someone was very motivated there.
Car on the right.
Oh boy.
Clear on the right. Car on the right.
Okay, looks
Clear
good,
on the
looks
right.
good. Little punting going on there.
Got some light damage on the front of the car.
Great.
Car on the right. Clear on the right.
Light damage on the front of the car. I hope it's not too much. Because I was not punting anyone. I think it was just because of a punt from the side. And we already see the track drying up. Oh boy.
Car on the left. Clear on the left.
Holy crap, that is scary. I'm not trying to find the feeling for the car with over 100 liters of fuel. And yeah, the track is already drying up on the ideal race line, so I think it was a good idea to lower the tire pressure in general.
Yellow flag ahead, watch out. There's a slow car up ahead.
I think the stewards will have a lot of work to do here. There is absolute chaos, absolute mayhem. I lost count of how many crashes I just witnessed. It's crazy. I'm actually surprised that the track is drying up after the first lap. I'm now worried that my tires will actually start to overheat. Oh, somebody missed T1 there. Douche. Yeah, it's drying up really fast. I didn't expect that. Hey Denise, thanks for stopping by, mate. Nice first lap, thank you very much. Despite the carnage, yeah. I'll just hope our 90 minutes Kyalami will be cleaner. Folks forgetting it's a 1 hour race, yeah. Even though we really emphasized in Discord, take it slow into T1, and it actually looked good. But going 3 wide into T1 Monza is pretty frisky idea. I'm now really need to brake early. I'm braking here now already, see? I'm braking before the bridge, just to make sure. See if I can get a cleaner exit onto the next straight. Monza T1. Denise, how is the practice going for Kyalami? Oh, I spared him.
Car on the left. Clear on the left.
1 position gained.
Well done, mate. The fastest lap so far.
Thanks, Kevin. Clean start, yeah. Now send it. Consistent, that's important. Yeah, I'll join the training server with my teammate tomorrow evening. To also, I hope we can practice the pit stop and driver change, because we have no idea how that works out. And that's something we definitely need to practice going into the pits. It's so crazy how stable the Bentley feels in these conditions. I think that's going to be my main contender for whatever next racing season is coming up. It's really good to control. Adrian, you're surprised the Ferraris are performing here, yeah.
Yellow flag ahead, be careful. There's a slow car up ahead.
Oh, somebody lost it here. EMG power.
Okay,
So we are 8. Started from 16, now on 8. Tires are starting to come on temperature already. After not even 10 minutes, so that would be interesting to manage tire pressure and tire heat. I'm just glad I really decreased the pressures. That was nearly too late, because in the midst of the no, not Ascari, ah god, forgot the name now, the chicane. It's still wet there. I really like driving in conditions like that, because going always in the clean, warm, nice weather is kind of boring. AMG is really well here on Monza. Pretty sure he will dive in. Just sticking on the inside a little bit. Has been better, worst line out of here, but oh boy.
Car on the left, clear on the left.
For a moment I thought we were gonna get 3 wide. Wide Monza T1 carnage, because there's no room to go 4 wide. That's just, the track is not wide enough for that. It's still wet there. You can clearly see that when turning in from left to right.
Slow car ahead.
Mr. Fickert and Mr. Nielsen running a pretty good pace now. Rear tires are starting to come up on temperature and getting too high with pressure. That's what I feared. So I'm just do this. Yep. The rear tires are definitely coming on temperature, so I need to start thinking about cooling them. I had to lift the throttle there really much. Please stay on the inside. Stay on the inside. I was just gently pushing the brake pedal again because he was right next to me to not crash. Very, very well done, Mr. Fickert. Kinda lost the AMG who was behind me. Nice exit there. Oh, what's up with Rob? He's P30 and we are coming up to lap him already. Looking at the apex and not at the fat blue Porsche in front of me. Had a much better exit here.
Car on the right.
Nice. Nice, nice, nice. That was a much better exit.
Yellow flag in sector 1.
Ooh, was a bit scary. P7 now, guys, from 16 to 7. Bunch of incidents. Nice to see how the track is, drying up. Tire pressure is pretty balanced right now. If I just keep on going into some of the wet patches, we should be fine. That was pretty close.
Clear on the left.
Not as good as it should have been, but the GT4 was a bit irritating. Let's use some of the patches. So, yeah, it's only the rear tires that are really coming up on temperature. We are still doing good. There. Just make sure, just cool them down tiny bit. I think Rob maybe was involved in some of the incidents. Something. He seems to be running a really good pace. I still don't want to decrease the traction control, even though I think I'm now really starting to lose some time out of the chicanes. It just gives me a bit of secure feeling through the other parts of the track. I think we are both closing in on Mr. Nielsen in front.
Car on the left.
Thanks, Rob.
Clear on the left.
Thank you very much. He lost control a little bit and then opened up the line. Okay, temperatures. It was just strange that after the first few minutes the rear tires were already going over 28 psi and now they kind of settled in. Really, still have to be careful there.
Gaining on the car ahead in sector 2.
Okay, nice.
Well done, mate. Personal best.
Did anyone see what Mr. Nielsen had? I didn't see his lap time. sending it in there really bold. $54.3, okay, cool. Thanks, Green Mountain. Thank you very much. So I had a faster lap time, but now he's pulling away a bit. Okay. Seems the inside curves are fine. My fastest lap around Monza in the dry was a 147.9 in the AMG. And I was never able to do that again. I'm now practicing Monza with the Bentley and with the BMW. Because I'm pretty sure that next season I will not continue with the AMG. It gets a bit boring. Although it's a really good car, but it's just so tricky to set up. And the Bentley feels so smoother, and the BMW is kind of a challenge. Although I tried the Aston V12 and boy, the sound! I mean, even because of the, a bit too late here, sound alone of the V12, I'm kinda curious to try the V12 a bit more. Might do that on stream. Tires are still holding up well, even though the race line is pretty much dry. Ah, that's not good, please. Too quick through that section, losing a lot of time. It's still wet there. Ferrari is easy to set up for me. I think the Ferrari is very understeery, and then you can pretty quickly have a decent setup with it, right? It's because it's very stable. I always recommend the Ferrari for beginners because that's what made it possible for me to practice a few tracks as well. Line. So let's cool off the tires a little bit.
Losing time to the car in front in sector 2.
Papillon, yes. That's no problem, just keep on asking if you want to know something. I will try to manage the race on this one set because it's not as hot. And there shouldn't be as much tire wear. So right now the problem is because I put in higher pressures. Because of the cooler temperatures, it can happen that when the tires start to get on temperature like they are doing now, they might not overheat but have too much pressure. So what I'm doing is that sometimes I'll move to the darker parts of the track where it's a bit wet to cool down the tires. And this section here is so tricky, it's still wet. Another GT4 is coming up. Usually the tires of the GT3s can go an hour, even though Papillon, you will start to notice after longer races, like an hour, that traction gets worse. And the car starts sliding around maybe, and you can't run as quick lap times as you did while at the beginning of the race. And that's normal, but that's what you need to kind of monitor. But you can definitely go an hour with tire set, especially in the Bentley. The Bentley is very gentle on tires, interestingly enough, and I think the Lamborghini is one of the worst. The indicator that I should change is in this case, in these tricky conditions, it would be when my pressure gets above 28, near the 29, making the tires bloat up. That would be my indicator here to really get into the pits, because... missed the brake marker there. Stuff happens. Hey Slavomir, how many hours do I have? Last time I checked it was over 300. I think it's now around 400 maybe. I started back in March when the lockdown happened. Like so many others, I guess. See, this section is still tricky. I need to brake earlier.
Car on the left. Clear on the left.
He nudged me. Did he nudge me? No, just felt like that. Hey, high and low. McLaren. That's a tricky one. The McLaren is very easy to drive and feels awesome. But it's very, very hard to master and get quick. So I think as a beginner, to kind of get a feeling for the tracks... Oh, thank you very much for the indicator, Mr. Fassnacht. The McLaren is a nice car. It's so direct, it's easy to handle. It's very stable and feels great, but it's very, very hard to kind of get fast in it. So for learning tracks, especially as a beginner, I think I would actually rather recommend you the Ferrari. Because it's more stable and has more potential to go quicker. And it's also maybe a bit easier to get into setups, like, you know, tinker a bit with the ride height. The McLaren needs very, very precise driving on the edge to be very, very quick. But that's something as a beginner you definitely don't need to worry about. So for just practicing, getting track medals, learning the tracks, definitely use the McLaren, because it will give you an easier time. A wet track while driving the boat lead. Well, it's not wet as you can see, but I'm starting to have a bit of a struggle with the tires right now. Boon is truly land yachting. Messed up the line there, I think. Oh, Pete, you got taken out. No. That's a shame, I think, but there will be a lot of incidents for the stewards to check. Papillo, the 911, I think is the most challenging car in the game. Right after cars like the BMW or the AMG. I would not recommend go with the Porsche if you just started with the game, basically. I'm having issues with braking now. It's very strange. Basically, let me turn back time. When I started the sim, I was basically trying every car.
Slow car.
And I immediately noticed that, you know, everybody has different feelings and different preferences, and I noticed that the R8 was kind of fun.
There's a slow car ahead.
The Ferrari was kind of fun. I tried then to stick with the McLaren for some time because the car felt so easy to drive and very precise. but I had a very rough time to do even decent lap times, even though it felt so clean and easy to drive. That was the problem at the same time. It was just too clean and too easy. And then I kind of stuck, Jesus, with the Ferrari for some time. And I really liked the Ferrari. Until I then got into the front engine cars and kind of took the AMG, and I'm now trying the Bentley. And honestly, I actually can recommend the Bentley as a beginner car. I know everybody calls it boatly and says it's so heavy, but it's actually very, very smooth to handle. And feels very stable and easy to handle. And the only thing you need to get used to is sitting on the right, which just basically takes a few laps.
There's a car exiting pit lane.
So I can really honestly recommend giving Bentley a try if you just started with the game. Bentley or Ferrari, honestly. Many people will recommend the Aston Martin. I just did not like the feeling of the Aston Martin. But that's definitely a car you should also give a try. Because also on the plus side you will find a lot of info and setups for the Aston Martin. Oh, Pete is in front of me. He was exiting the pit lanes, okay. So the tire pressures and temperatures are still looking fine. That's interesting. I was expecting the opposite. We are now approaching half of the race. Position 7 is running 5 seconds faster than me. No, he's 5 seconds behind me. That's the gap in seconds. Not the lap time difference. Okay, at least Parabolica is creeping up, but I'm getting slower in terms of lap times now. The car starts to feel a bit weird, and that's just this stupid tire window that you get after like half an hour. Oh, you mean the lap time was 5 seconds faster, okay. I didn't see that. Thanks for telling me, because 5 seconds faster, I mean I had a pretty bad laps right now. I need to focus a bit more again. Oh. Always head for the rear. And it worked out. When a car is spinning, always head for the rear. Because in most cases they keep on spinning towards the front.
We are at the halfway mark.
I lost another 1.5 seconds, but the guy's behind me as well. Distance, foam distance marker graveyard. We should actually find an abbreviation for that. Because that's really true. You just smash the foam boards. Foam distance marker graveyard. FDMGY. Okay, we can now really go flat there. The track is drying up very well. I forgot to invite Nightbot today, that's why it's so clean in the chat. Let's have a stream without Nightbot spamming his commands. Ooh, that was a bit late. Stop and go for car number 1. P6, P5 now, according to my listing. Or P5 for the GT3s, yes. Nice, from 16 to 5. I think we're doing good. Ah, that was too early. Jeez. I'm having a really weird feeling on brake right now. Even though tires, temperatures and pressure still look good, it might be that now the car gets more grip. The aero balance is off because of the wet preset. Oh, thank you very much, Herdkorn. I didn't even feel the little bumps there. What? The track conditions are too dry right now. I was not prepared for too dry. But that's what happens with just only light rain and over 30 cars on grid. But that was an interesting thing about the car setup, is that you always have to keep in mind that the car behavior changes because of temperatures, of grip. So when your tires start to build up more grip, the setup can just change. Because, Jesus, I can't brake there anymore. Because maybe the setup you have for the car is more towards, you know, colder temperatures or whatever. So right now the car feels really struggling because of the wet preset setup. It might be just too much, I don't know, too much downforce? I don't know. It just feels weird on brakes right now. Might also be that I closed the brake ducts too much and now the temperatures are so warm that my brakes start to overheat while braking. Yep. I think they're getting a bit yellowish. If anyone maybe might look at my brake sets if they start to turn like yellowish while braking, because they're not even cooling off now. It seems like the pace kind of settled. Nobody is going really fast at the moment. Driving left-handed.
Gaining on the driver ahead in sector 3.
Okay, we gained a bit, so it seems the other people are struggling as well. Braking a bit earlier now here. Okay, that worked better. Though it might have been just a bit too early. Whoop-de-doo. Cleaner than the laps before. Okay, that was also good. Maybe I can manage to close the gap a little bit to Mr. Nielsen. Squid is too far off.
Yellow flag, be careful.
That was a good one. Brakes did green even in the... Okay, thank you very much, Aaron. Very much appreciated. Cool. Like, because I just can't look at them. He was going wide there. So, left or right? Left, thanks. You should actually...
Car on the right. Clear on the right.
Yep, thank you. Feels like I need to turn in earlier. Because the car is starting to... Well, the ABS is not able to... Or maybe it's just too much. I don't know, it just feels different now. The way it felt in the beginning of the race when it was colder and more wet. And I think that's just cool. That makes racing so much more interesting. Ah, shoot. These are conditions changing like that. Going a bit wide. Shame, because I'm catching up on Mr. Nielsen. I'm still catching up. Looks like he also went a bit wide. It's really crazy how much more stable the Bentley feels through Ashkadi. With the AMG I was struggling so much. I'm surprised that even tire pressure is staying the same now, that the track temperature is not increasing. Very early on throttle there. And we still keep the line, okay. It's definitely really dry through there. Almost completely dry. And I was 1.5 seconds faster than M. Nielsen on the lap. So let's see if we can continue this trend. Starting to ask myself if I should decrease traction control to 4. It's a risk maybe worth taking. But do you see how interesting the car behaves now? I had now like, I don't know, 10, 12 minutes of the car really struggling. And now in certain turns,
Yellow flag, be
the
careful.
feeling improved very well.
Slow car ahead.
So we conditions changing all the time. Also the behavior of car because of the setup and the way the tires behave is changing all the time, and that makes it really interesting actually driving in conditions like these. Whoops. That's what happens when you miss the apex. Let's look at the lap time that Mr. Nielsen is doing. 1:54.3. Okay, we're now equal, so seems like he also had a mistake in the lap before. It's interesting how the brakes start to squeal. I think I'm just staying with TC5. It's just too much of a risk. Because the tarmac is just not hot enough. And well, the tarmac seems to be warm, but the tires are just not hot enough for that. Position 4 is losing time in sector 2. Thank you very much, Hein Low. Very much appreciated. I am losing time in last turn, yeah. I just really missed the apex. I need to focus on, especially the last sector, the last straight here. I need to be cleaner through there and take up more speed. Not good, not terrible. Better now? Yeah, that was much better. He's 54.2, 54.3. But I picked up speed for the straight. And now I have a good brake marker. Now. Ooh, that was a bit too late. Yep. It's interesting. My brake marker for T1 really changed over the duration of this race. But the tire pressures are staying nearly identical. That's what surprises me. That was a bit too late. I'll definitely need to brake earlier in most of the sections. That's throwing me off a bit right now. I think my but we are closing in on P3, Mr. Squidfield. He was 9 seconds ahead and now it's 6 seconds. But there are a bunch of lapping maneuvers, I think. Going through Ashkari, I hate it. Just completely missed the apex there. So we have GT4 lapping coming up. That should work out on the next. Oh, he's moving to the inside. Thank you very much. You know, a situation like this, it would be always cool to have the indicator, because I was really not sure if he's going to move to the left or the right. So if you just indicate to which direction you're going to move, it helps a lot. Bunch of cars in front of me, actually. We are really catching up with Mr. Squidfield. That's interesting. I think the lapping maneuvers are slowing down a bunch of people, so maybe I can catch up with someone. Had a really good T1 now. Yeah.
Car on the left. Clear on the left.
The overtaking maneuvers are really costing them some time. Mr. Nielsen is now stuck as well. Hey, Joseph! I can get P4. You're the man. Keeping me motivated. So let's see where Mr. Niklas is going.
Car on the left.
Ooh.
Clear on the left.
Very, very early on acceleration right there. But now I know why Squidfield was losing so much time. Really bunch of overtaking maneuvers there. Boy, the time has gone by very quickly. 13 minutes left only. So Mr. Nielsen is right in front of me. After the, well, in front of the Ferrari. Tire pressures are still the same. It's fascinating that the temperature is not increasing. I'm really irritated by that. Oh no. What happened there? Oh, I thought he completely lost it and crashed. I think he was maybe underestimating braking.
Car on the left. Clear on the left.
Oh. Touched a little bit. That looked like a mess, yeah. Push, push, push. I wasn't unsure. My only chance is now to push earlier. Get a better exit. But Ferrari has a good exit as well. So now it's drag. It's a drag race into T1. Shit.
Car on the left. Clear on the left.
Oh my god! We were both too late for that. I didn't see that there was a GT4, no, another GT3 in front of us. I didn't see that. I wanted to swerve to the inside, and at that moment Nielsen did the same in the Ferrari, and I was like, shit, there's a black Porsche. Holy crap. Wow, that was a little cold brown. Thank you very much.
Clear on the left.
Holy crap. My heart's pumping. It's just like... You can't imagine how that... I mean, you saw how it looked like, but I was like really like, what the frag? Where did that black Porsche come from? I did not expect it. On the edge of your C2 Papillon, yeah. So here we have it again. I'm really catching up with him. I think he's damaged right now. So he might be struggling. But that's crazy how this can decide races. All the lapping maneuvers. And then just one small mistake. Yeah, traction control is definitely costing me time in this section. I'm gonna just stick with that. Tire pressures are still the same. That's crazy. Absolutely not expecting that. Whoops. I actually braked earlier and now he braked very early. I need to be careful now. Because I think he's struggling with the car. And I'm struggling with the car. 8 more minutes. No crash, no crash. I can get him. I just need to be clean. Smooth and clean, like a shaver. Like a razor blade. Shit. I'm also struggling with the car now. I think I cooked my tires a little bit. Even though they're cold for most of the time. Can still pull off good times, but this was a really messy lap. 2.5 seconds slower.
Falling behind in the car in front on sector 3.
Yeah, and he can overtake the GT4 now. Thank you very much.
Clear on the left.
Not sure if I can get him. Still doing a pretty good pace, and I had a really bad lap right now. I can't brake anymore. Did you see that? I braked nearly at the 150 meter board and the car just won't stop. So that's an issue right now. I need to brake earlier. Way earlier. Car's definitely struggling. Makes it all the more interesting. ABS breaks up, okay. No need to push, yeah. It's interesting that now the ABS is controlling so much. It might be now way too high for the grip conditions we have. And I forgot to set reduce ABS on my steering wheel because I never have to. Need to do that. Right now would be the perfect time. But I'm decreasing the traction control now to 4. Yeah, I braked now before the board and it was better. And then the turn exit was... Careful now with traction control. No, you don't need to pit. You can do a lot on your steering wheel actually. You can change the ECU mapping, traction control, ABS, everything. Nearly everything. Nah, he can he's so lucky right now. He already is past the GT4 and I'm coming up now, which is really bad. Messed up the line through there now. Losing a lot of time. Yeah, but the car is basically cooked right now because of the way it is set up and the conditions are now nearly dry. It's barely raining at all right now, so the setup is basically screwed for this track condition. Oh, he missed the brake marker. So he seems to also have issues with the brakes. Exit here is much better now with traction control 4. Yeah, there are certain things you can change, like in a real race car, you can also change ABS and traction control, for example. Even brake balance if you have the room on your steering wheel. And the buttons to change it, you know. I think he has the same issues like me right now. But for the curbs, TC4 is a nasty. Yeah, he definitely struggles with the same issues like me. He's cooling off his tires. It's not the tires that are overheating. It's just a setup that's screwed for these track conditions. One exit more in the penalty for him, Joseph, you think? So I don't know if he has received any track warnings. I have not so far.
There's a slow car ahead.
But he has definitely issues on the brakes. Exactly the same like me. Now I really have to be careful. What the fuck was that guy doing? I now just need to be cleaner. I have one more lap, I think, to make it happen. It's all now through Ashkari. Oh, that was not good. I lost a lot of time. I was slowing down. One more lap. Can I make it happen? I'm not sure. Really early on throttle there. Ooh. But still no track limit warning.
Falling behind the car in front in sector 2.
I know, it's always sector 2. Tight, tight, tight. Now he was a bit earlier than expected.
Yellow
on
flag
brake.
in sector 2.
He's doing a really good job. Dang it. The car feels just not reliable enough to really push it. Oh, the track limits are wider on wet tracks. Didn't know that, thanks. And now I was... wow. Whew.
Slow car ahead.
TC4 is just... crazy. So if he doesn't make any mistake, that's it, P5. But really cool. Starting from 16th to P5. Not bad. Not bad at all.
Yellow flag ahead. Watch out in front. There's a slow car ahead. Yellow flag. Be careful there.
I went full flat there.
Your leader has finished the race.
Yeah, not gonna happen. So close. Nicely done, nicely done. Awesome, P5!
Alright mate, race is over. Good job, you did the best you could. Take it easy.
P5 in amazing conditions, and I really timed the fuel as well. Holy crap. That was very, very tricky. I can't even like put it into words how the car felt now in the last like 10 to 15 minutes. Crazy. Fun race to watch. Awesome, thank you very much. 60 to 5, yeah. Well done, thank you very much guys. Very, very tough conditions. Wow, I mean, the first time I heard that you should be careful when it's just light rain was in one of, I think in another YouTube video where they kind of showed what happens if it's not wet enough and you go on wet tires. So that was really, really tricky. Screenshotting the race results with the guys. Ah, time to do some donuts. Oh, sorry, I forgot about the donuts. Oof, the last 15 minutes, Joseph. Yes, the last 15 minutes were actually the most exhausting one. And lap 1. Lap 1 and 2 were crazy, crazy, crazy incidents. Look at Nielsen, you made me sweat. Yeah, Nielsen just wrote I made him sweat. Sorry for the love tap, that's no problem. Stuff like that happens in conditions like that. That was a really cool race. So the incident reports will be an interesting one here. AJ and we were both flying everywhere. Yeah, the condition. I mean, yeah, it's hard to kind of explain because after like the car started to behave really strange around minute 25 when I was when there was like 35 minutes left. I started to have issues with braking, and that's when I kind of asked what's happening, and then somebody told me the ABS is just doing too much, like releasing the brakes. And the thing is that I think the car had now too much grip, and the ABS just was just, instead of like, which is very strange, instead of just letting the car do the braking, the ABS interfered, and that's what kind of increased my brake distance so much. And then I think what was also interesting, what I started to notice was that after the first 5 minutes, the tires were suddenly, the rear tires especially, were starting to go green and reaching over 28 psi. And that's when I started kind of going into the wet patches and cool down the tires, which was surprisingly after 5 minutes on a wet track. And then after like, I think from lap 6 or 7 on now until the end, the tire pressure stayed nearly the same, which is also an interesting outcome. So a lot of things learned here in this session today. I hope it was as informative and fun as it was to me for you guys. This was definitely unexpected. You blew a tire on solder in similar conditions, yeah. If I would have used wet tires here right now, it would have been a different story. One of my cats is getting anxious. Maybe she wants to say hi to you guys. Louis! Come here, say hi to the guys on stream. No. Where are you going, kitty? Come on. Left, right, come on. There she is. Come on. Up, up, up. There she is. Say hello to the guys on stream. Hi. That's one of our cats. Her name is Louise. She's the black one. And we also have a white cat. They always go crazy when I'm streaming. There. I need a snack. You have a black cat too, Danny. Look, there she is. She's the little monster. Even though they can annoy the hell out of me, I just love our cats. I was never a cat person. When my girlfriend moved in, she brought her 2 cats with her, and I was like, okay. And now it's like, yeah, it's like that all the time. That was a rough race, Pete, huh? How are you doing? I think the server is stuck right now. Pete, where have you been? P21, not that bad after the crash, mate. We had 39 drivers. Can you imagine that? So if anybody else is interested in joining this fun, please, you can find the link to the Simracing XP Discord in this live stream video description. Just join in, pick if you want to race GT3 or GT4, and that's it. There's no registration, no personal data, we don't need anything. And the races are always on Tuesday at 20 PM, at 8 PM Central European Standard Time. And you can just join in. And we have like 3 or 4 different practice servers running with races. We are practicing all together, having a lots of fun, learning and improving all together. So feel free to just, you know, check in. And you're also welcome to join my Discord, of course, for exchanging setups, tips and tricks. Everything you want to know about me and what I do. If it weren't for your ping, Adrian. I think we have 1 or 2 high ping guys. See, Mr. Wenzel here is a high ping. So yeah, that's that. Very interesting race, honestly. I expected to perform much worse. Let's check what happened at the start. Oh my god, look at that 4 wide. The next racetrack. The next race is next week on Nürburgring in rain conditions. So we will have a full wet Nürburgring race. Look at that, we were bong bong bong. They did ping pong playing. Oh my god! I was lucky to get through there. Look at that. They are ping-ponging. He's ping, ping. There's someone spinning there. Ping again. 3 wide, 3 wide, 3 wide. I was lucky to find a gap there. And then we pinged there a bit. That's why. Oh, yeah, I had damage in the front because of that. Yeah, there. Oh my god, the T1 carnage was real. That T1 carnage was real. And then I think we had some more, yeah, then we were approaching... Okay, Adrian, see you in the next one. Arthur, you screwed up on lap 1. A lot of people screwed up on lap 1. And there. Yeah. It's just in lap 1. It's just... because the track conditions were really tricky. It was wet. It was really wet and the tires were ice cold. So you can see how everyone was struggling, and I was just so glad that I took the Bentley because it was behaving so well until like half of the race, then it got nasty. Rugby scrum. Yes. Exactly, that's how you call it. Well, I was following then the Ferrari. It was on the straight after Ashkari. So here we have the Merc. That was close. Honestly, I was just not even on throttle there. Okay, then the other Ferrari... we had a lot of Ferraris actually. High and low, you just joined the Discord, which is in the video description below, for the Simracing XP. And there you just pick a class if you want to race GT3 or GT4, and that's it. You just join up with the next race, You can just come on the server, practice and race with us. There's no form, registration or whatever. So, other than that, looked actually fine. There's douche! Form boat graveyard. Okay, yeah. That was definitely an interesting one. So yeah, cool. I'm finishing up for today. That was very exciting and a lot of fun. I didn't even sweat as much as I usually do because it's just, even though there was a lot of action, it's really relaxing to race with the guys from Simracing XP. It's just so nice. Really, really nice environment. Nice guys. Wow. What a crazy live stream. Again, peaking at 30 viewers. Awesome. Thank you so much, guys, everyone, for watching. Thanks for the questions. It's really fun. I appreciate it so much when people like really ask questions and want to know something. And I'm getting better at answering while driving. I was struggling a lot in the beginning a few weeks back. Thank you very much, Nico LF64. That's very much appreciated. Very happy. So the next stream is already coming up on Thursday with a very, very special event. 90 minutes. 90 minutes of Kyalami with my teammate, Mr. Toko. Marcello, I kind of met him in the SimGrid from the Hungaroring race where we were chasing each other. I even have that on video in my YouTube channel. And we are teaming up for the 90 minutes of Kyalami in the AMG car. In the GT3 Mercedes. So let's see how that goes. He never driven the Mercedes before, and I'm not so comfortable in the Mercedes on Kyalami, interestingly enough. I don't know why. So that's coming up on Wednesday. And after that, on Saturday is already the next race event with the ACCSS guys. So there's a lot to do within this week. Crazy. Thank you very much, Arthur. So yeah, I hope I see you all soon, latest on Thursday. Tomorrow is Wednesday, right? It's Wednesday? Yeah. So thanks for watching. Stay safe, everyone. Take care, have a good night, and feel free to just follow me on my social channels that I linked in the description to know when I'm going live or if I post fancy kitty pictures or whatever, just to get to know more about me, ask me questions or anything you want to know. I'm checking out for today. Have a good night, and I'll see you guys on Thursday. Thanks so much for watching. Bye bye. Take care.